was back in the Allegra again this morning, and it is the next day from when I made the tutorials yesterday, and there's been an update. So in the shipping version, this is great news for console players. You'll actually be able to turn on the safety systems. Yes. Let's have a look at how we're doing it. Now, just for clarity, I am still doing this on a PC because I haven't got my Xbox access just yet. But the new procedure, and I'll have to think about whether I replace those tutorials I put up yesterday or not. So you start up, reverse it forward. This one already was, that's fine. And we can do all the other things that we did yesterday, like turning on the headlights, setting our tail lights, putting our mirrors out. You can see the mirrors out now. And make sure our parking brake is off, make sure our train brake is on. Alright, now first up, we want to turn on the ZS signaling system, which forces us to acknowledge signals. You can now press this button to turn it on, and it goes down and stays down to reflect that they're on. When you want to acknowledge, you press this one. So the left hand one is a toggle, turns it on and off. The right hand one is your acknowledge. Now for SISTE, or vigilance, you just, over here on the right hand panel, there's a switch, in fact marked SISTE, which is for vigilance systems on. Now when you want to acknowledge that one, when it goes off periodically, as it does when you drive. In fact, why don't we do it? Let's get the doors open. When it goes off periodically, you can use the appropriate key for your controller, which for the Xbox is B, and I believe it's circle on the PlayStation. And you can use Q for the PC. So this is really good news that you can now actually turn the safety systems on without a keyboard. Yes. Now, the other bit of news I had from the other day, yesterday rather, let me just go and find this. I should have prepared this earlier, but I did actually get a viewer tell me how to use the controller for BSOL. So, I believe on the Xbox you press the X button, press and hold, and then you use the RB or RT buttons. So that's a bit of a help as well. Now I can't show you that right now because my Xbox controller's not actually plugged in, I don't think. But I will do that when I get the Xbox version, and I'll make a console specific tutorial for this thing. So we're ready to go now. Doors are locked, brakes are off, and we should be able to... Ooh, you know what I haven't done? Didn't put the cruise control up, did I? No, it started at 0, which is interesting because it's always started at 25 before. That must be part of the update. Interesting. Now I better put my headphones on, otherwise I'm not actually going to hear it when the vigilance control goes off. We probably won't go anywhere that gets the ZS system activated because we probably won't find any adverse signals that we have to acknowledge. On a Rosa, it makes you acknowledge every signal because it goes blip, 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 and if you don't acknowledge it, it puts the brakes on. But I think on this one, it only does it for adverse signals. There is vigilance, so I'll acknowledge that. I used the Q button on my keyboard naturally enough. Well, actually, I didn't quite. I used box, but anyway, box is still a keyboard as far as the PC is concerned. It's what it sees. And if I was on controller, I would have used B for the Xbox or circle for the PlayStation. The Swiss lights are quite funny that they both flash at the same time. Now we do have to slow down a little bit, coming into the very slow section. Now I'm going to let vigilance stop my train. So I'm just going to let it go off. So I'm not acknowledging it deliberately. It's beeping away. It's giving me a hell of a chance. And there we go. Let's put the brakes on. Alright, so it's finally stopped. It's decided I've died, so it's taken control. So what do we do now? Well, simple enough. Put your brakes on. Put your throttle back to 0. Acknowledge it. and you can use again Q on the keyboard or the B or circle buttons depending on your controller flavor. Just let people know we're going to be moving again. A little bit of horn, take the brakes off, and some power. Now, if you're on a particularly steep gradient, you might want to apply some power before you release the brakes, but if you're quick enough, the brakes will still be releasing while you apply the power, so it is okay to do it that way. If you're on the 7% areas, you definitely want to apply power first before you release the brakes. The train's quite happy to do that. It's using a hill start mode. So there we go, we are going off again. It's just been a quick update to the tutorial around safety systems. The really fantastic news that there's been an update and that we can now turn them on using controllers, or we can turn them on using the buttons in the cab. So that means that console players can actually turn on SISTE, the vigilant system, and they can turn on ZS, the signalling adherence, using the left-hand ZS button. Just recapping there. Oh, and there it is again. Okay, so that's all I've got for you. Thanks very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this is really good news for the console players who now have an easy way to turn on these signalling systems, because I know not all console players have a keyboard plugged in. I do, but that's just me because I sit at my same gaming desk when I'm using the console. But if you've got it sitting on the family room TV, then there's a fair chance you don't have a keyboard. So I imagine most console players probably don't. Anyway, have fun, folks. I hope this has been useful and helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Alrighty, have fun. See you later.